Hey guys, it's the Chad, your C10 truck nerd. Well, by now, most of you guys know that I'm a huge fan of 67 to 72 GM trucks, and my favorites are the ones with all original patina paint. Now, even though these trucks are old, I still like to go through and make them shine, and the way I've been doing that in the past is hitting them with my soap-filled SOS pads to knock off all that oxidation and surface rust, and then I bring it back around with some Meguiar's Ultimate Compound and Polish, which works pretty good, but it's just not great. Now, there is one company out there called Wizards that I've really wanted to try out because a lot of my YouTube buddies swear by it. So in today's video, we're gonna do that. We're gonna use several of their products on my cousin's 1966 Chevy Bel Air 4-door that's been sitting in a barn for 40 years, and we're gonna see if we can't make this paint shine again. So I'm all about a budget working on my old C10s, but being too cheap can really bite you in the butt in the end. And that's kind of what happened when I'd work on paint with these old C10s is I'd just go through and buy the cheapest compound and polish that you could find from Walmart. But 2 weeks later, it was dead and I'd have to start over. And that's kind of when I switched over to Meguiar's Ultimate Compound and Polish. And that worked really good and it was pretty inexpensive, but it just wasn't great. So that's why I was excited to go through and try out Wizards, because all my YouTube buddies swear by this stuff. Now, I hadn't had a chance to go through and test this before I went to SEMA this year. I'm glad I didn't, because one of the first booths that I went into in Vendor Hall was Wizards. They had all their products out there, several gentlemen to go through and explain this, so I jumped all over it and said, hey, tell me about your budget, what's your entry-level stuff? And so they walked me through their entry-level, their Mystic line, and their Professional series, and I said, hey, what do you guys recommend that I use on this burnout patina paint? They said, hey, you know what? We got a gentleman that you probably want to talk to, which is Mark Lawrence. I didn't realize it's the president of the company, but he spent a few minutes walking me through all of their products. And he says, you know, you could do this budget line, but I think you're going to be more happy with their Mystic line because it's kind of a one-stop shop. He was getting slammed at SEMA, which I understand. So he says, you know what? Just give me a phone call after the SEMA show. So we set up a Zoom call. He spent about an hour on this Zoom call with me, just walking me through every single product that they had. I sent him pictures of the cars and trucks that we work on. So he kind of came up with a product list and says, hey, this is what I'd use with these type of pads on this type of paint. And he was kind of excited to see how this stuff would turn out too. So what we decided to use was their Mystic line. So we're going to go through and use this material on Garrett's old 66 Bel Air and see if we can't make this thing shine again. So what I thought was pretty cool using their Mystic line is this is kind of a one-stop shop right here in this bottle. Now again, I've been too cheap over the years, and Mark says, you know what, for a few more bucks, instead of using their entry-level stuff, you can buy this one bottle and pretty much do everything that you want. It's all about what type of pad that you're using. So we'll start off using this as a compound, then we'll change pads, use it as a polish, and we could change pads again and use it as a finisher. Now, before we can go through and start cutting and buffing on this car, we've got to clean it up. Now, most of our old hot rods like this have just terrible paint, been sitting outside with mold and mildew, oxidation, rust, and this paint needs to be pretty clean before you put a wheel on it. So that's why we've gone through and already hit it with a SOS, soap-filled SOS pad, got all that grime off, got the paint pretty smooth, but now it's really scratched up. So that's why it's important we go through with compound and hit it. But we are gonna wash this down one more time because Garrett lives on a dirt road and there's a lot of grit on it right now. If you have paint that's 20 or 30 years old, but it's not really rough or stained, you could go through with a clay bar. Wizards line is called Mystic Clay. Lubricate it with some of their Wizards wash or water, and you're just trying to smooth that paint out. That way you aren't inducing more scratches or staining paint once you introduce the machine. So we're gonna get this thing outside and get her cleaned up, blow her off, and bring her back in and start running a wheel on it. Alrighty, so we got it outside, and it's been a while since we gave it the old SOS treatment or the Comet wash, and the paint's, it's not as good as I thought. So we're actually gonna go through and clean it up a little bit more because there is still quite a bit of rust peeking through there and there's some stains. So we're gonna hit it one more time and then we'll wash it. You're doing a fine job, sir.
I am.
So the key to SOSing a car is you just don't care, because whatever we're gonna do with the compound is gonna fix 90% of this. So there's a lot of paint overspray on here, just FYI.
Yeah.
When you're painting black parts all the time, make sure you never cover your cars. That way there's overspray everywhere.
Good news is it comes off.
It does.
As long as you're not too close to it. Chad, would you work faster?
Yes. How much am I getting paid hourly? Okay, perfect. So again, even after just a few months, you can tell how much cleaner going through and hitting that with the SOS makes it. But yeah, that's
a lot of paint too.
A lot of overspray on this one, but we're taking quite a bit of the surface rust back off of here. Doesn't take too long. You don't have to really care too much because it'll all polish out.
All right, top first.
So the important thing washing cars, especially ones that have polish or waxes on it, is you want to use a pH neutral wash. I know Wizards makes their Wizards wash, but you just want to be careful not using Dawn dish soap and all that. Once you've started to protect the paint, we have no protection right now, but we still want to get this as clean as you possibly can.
Dawn dish soap will take all the wax directly off of your car.
Because it's tough on grease.
And horrible for your car.
All right, so Garrett's using microfiber towels to dry this off. I'm using Wizards Water Bandit. It's their synthetic chamois that really absorbs stuff. So big thing is when you're drying cars is to do them in straight lines.
No circulars.
No wax on, wax off.
Although right now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, when you have junk paint to begin with, it's not a big deal, but once you get it finished, you want to start doing things the right way, not the Chad and Garrett way.
Don't want to scratch it again, because it's going to take a while.
It's washed.
Or did we get it washed out?
Washed out, washed up. All right, so we got the Bel Air all washed. We hit it with the SOS one more time, and the paint is so much smoother now. Again, that's important, especially if you're going to be running machines on it. That way you aren't tearing up pads. But Garrett and I are electing with the Mystic system. You can do this by hand, but this thing's the size of an aircraft carrier, and it would take us 42 days to do it by hand. So we're going to be using machines. I'm using Wizards Big Throw 21. Garrett's going to be using his Rupees or Roops, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a fancy one as well. And we're just going to be using the machines all the way through this. The SSR kit, this is kind of the magic of the system, is what Mark said through Wizards. This kit here comes with the Mystic cut, it comes with Nano Wax, and it comes with your 3 pads and a cleaning brush. But again, this Mystic system, we're going to use the same material with just a couple different pads, and it's going to do all the work for us. Mark says we'll love these machines. Garrett kind of buys quality stuff too. He says, hey, don't be afraid to tell folks to go out and buy a Harbor Freight DA for 70 bucks with a coupon. You know, we are on a budget on this channel, so we don't expect people to go out and spend $300-400 on machines. But again, he and I are going to be doing this a lot, so we want our tools to last 20-30 years, so we've elected to spend more.
If you're only going to do it 2 or 3 times, just get the Harbor Freight one.
Yeah, so both of our polishers, they're 6-inch, and the SSR kit, it comes with a microfiber. This is basically our cutting pad. It comes with a polishing pad, which is foam, and then a finishing pad that you could top it out. So it's a 3-stage system. We're going to start, obviously, with the microfiber to do some cutting. The whole goal with this is not taking paint off his car, though. With the DA, it's nice. The chances of burning paint is very low on there. The product should be doing the work. We're just guiding the machine to let it kind of slide around and do all the hard work for us. But I think $70 Harbor Freight, you'd be fine too. But it's kind of cool customer service from Mark to recommend a cheaper product and not even try to sell his. So.
Absolutely, and then they have a full guide, depending on the type of paint that you have and what your intent is, of step by step by step of what to do, the different speeds that you should be running this whole thing.
So what's cool with their kit, they basically have a DA orbital application guide. So it talks about whichever material you'll be using to which pads for the cut, the polish, the finishing. So again, they kind of take the guesswork out of what you need to do. So we're going to start on this process, which may take us way longer than we thought.
We'll be here long time.
Too long. All right, to start off, you always want to go through and prime your pad. So I'm just going to get a little bit of water. Just get it wet. You just don't want to put two dry surfaces together. And then to load your pad the first time, you can either do like 8 dots or make a swirl of it and then get going. This machine has 6 speeds. I'm going to start about a 4. I can probably go all the way up to a 6, but again, if I need 6, then I'll speed it up. If not, I'll just start there. But again, the machine's going to be doing all the work for me. So once I get going, we're going to be making about
Like 80 times as much as you need.
No, it's not. Follow the manual. It's just like the booklet says, you just do the circular swirl or 8 dots. On that, same thing, we're going to do about a 2x2 section. We're going to be working back and forth and then front to back 2 passes each way. And if it needs more, we'll do more. So as Garrett's making his passes, you want to go at least 50 to 75% overlap. We've noticed so far doing this, we need, probably 6 to 10 passes. This paint is just so dead, but it is starting to come alive in a hurry. And you can just see this one little section right here that I've done. And it's really took a lot of the stains out, the rust stains already, so.
It's an entirely different color.
It is. It's pretty impressive so far. Check that out.
That's step 1.
How's it going, man?
It's doing well, man. It's neat. I'm learning as I go. You definitely, once you prime your pad the first time, you only need a few dots from that point on. But there's more product in here than you think. So just keep going this way and then this way, and just keep going until you get there. And actually, you may get there. You might have to add a little bit more and go over it just a little bit more, but it's amazing how far just a little bit of product goes.
I like this. I've never used the DAs, but look at his shirt. He's not covered in splatter like I'd be if I was using my just regular rotary Makita out there. But this thing is doing all the work. Watch Garrett. He can basically just let the machine do all the work.
2 fingers.
Work smart, not hard.
Until we get to the side.
Yeah, okay.
The roof is huge.
All right, so if you guys aren't real familiar with cutting and buffing cars or using a DA, you can go to Wizard Products on YouTube, and they'll show you tons of tutorials on how to use the big throw, different types of polishes, compounds, and the 6 bajillion different other products they got out there. But Garrett and I, we don't usually follow instructions, but I won't lie, I did watch most of their videos the last few nights, so I think I'm an expert. So I think the sides are coming out pretty dang good. You can see this fender to this door already. Just the top of the hood and the roof, they were just baked.
They are. They're taking several passes back and forth. And another tip, if it doesn't seem like it's doing anything, take a little bit of water, just sprinkle it on your pad, and it wakes up everything, and it's like rejuvenating your pad without adding material.
Yeah, it's important. I don't think I mentioned, but it doesn't matter what machine, the Harbor Freight, the Rupees, the Wizards, as long as you're following their guidelines of what pad to use with what material, you're gonna have success. But man, we're really bringing this paint back alive. It's pretty cool. Alrighty, so we're about hour and 45 minutes in. We got 1/16 of the car done because Garrett had to buy the biggest freaking car in the world. But
It's day 56, log, entry 3.
we probably shouldn't have SOS this thing because I was smoked before we even started. And luckily these polishers don't weigh much, but after a couple hours and another 6, we should, oh my gosh, this is
Just
terrible.
get to work, Chad. Stop talking.
So pretty much I've learned 2 things as we're about 2/3 of the way through this car. Is 1, I love Chevys, but Garrett should buy a Volkswagen because it should be smaller. And 2, my back hurts. And C, I see why people pay big money for it because it's totally worth to have somebody else do this.
It's a lot of work, but hey, we're still in day 1.
Day 1, good Lord. I thought we'd be done in like 4 hours, but.
I thought this was going to take about 3 days because, yeah.
And it's still me. So. Yay! So one thing you got to be careful with is these big old rust chunks down here. This microfiber pad hasn't given us any problems yet, but we've tried to stay away from the substantial rust until the very end. That way, if it shreds, we're not screwed. But they do make a wool blend, and you can use those for those sharper edges. But so far, we've had good luck. Nice butt. All right, now that we got the cutting done, Garrett's switching over to the polishing pad, which is the yellow one in the SSR kit. So we'll go through and we're gonna use the Mystic Cut once again, but this will start to give us the polish just by switching to that foam pad. Looks good, dude. Oh, my back hurts.
Yeah, we're gonna hurt tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you can tell which side is done or not, but it's this. And I tell you, this turned out way better than I thought. You know, about 4 hours into this, using one product. I like this Mystic of just switching pads from the cut microfiber pad to the polishing, but I tell you, the polishing went way faster, but there was a big difference. I mean, this paint was scorched. I just cannot believe that we got it to come around this much, and we still haven't done the protectant layer yet, but I don't know. It's pretty sweet. I think I'm a big believer in Wizards now. It's all that voodoo and witchcraft in a bottle, but there's nanos and molecules or something in there, but it sure made it shine. Look at this. Take a shot from this angle here to here. It's just crazy. Oh, I about broke my ankle. It's pretty awesome. Alrighty, so we finished polishing the whole car except for this half of the hood. We had to take some thumbnails for the video, but the last and final step with the SSR kit would be to go through and use their Mystic Nano Wax, and that would give you your protection for several months at that point. They also said you could go through and use their spray-on wax or their Mist and Shine as well. But Garrett and I, we're a little different. We're not gonna use this. We thought, hey, everybody now is using ceramic coat on brand new cars and fancy stuff, so why not try ceramic coat on a 59-year-old paint job? So
what better place to put it? Seriously, it's already kind of crap, so you might as well put the best thing on top of it that you possibly can.
yeah, I asked Mark about it, and he's like, yeah, I don't know about putting ceramic coat on rust and patina, but why not either? I'm fine doing this because it's Garrett's car, so if the paint bubbles and all falls off, then we know don't do that. But I think it'll be pretty cool. This is their Wizards Nano Ceramic. We're gonna go through and wash this one more time. I think we could get away with just wiping it down, but we flung some stuff everywhere, so just to be on the safe side of that.
And the rusty spots kind of look milky at the moment, so I'm gonna have to scrub those nice and clean to get the rust look back.
Yeah. Well, big shout out to Mark and his team at Wizards. They helped me out tremendously trying to pick which products to use, and he knocked it out of the park with the Mystic line. I mean, this turned out fantastic.
It's very intuitive, easy to follow the instructions. Honestly, putting the stuff on wasn't that big a deal. The compound coat, that is definitely the longest time that you're gonna spend on it. The polishing coat, like he said, man, is that just kind of fun because it's fast and you can actually see a difference. I didn't realize that it could get shinier.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see what happens when we put the ceramic coat on top of it.
I think it's gonna get even shiny. It's gonna look a little ridiculous, probably.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, like I say, if you guys are interested in any of the products we use today, you can go to wizardsproducts.com. They also have retail stores at Amazon, Walmart.com, and eBay. But if you want it the next day, you usually get it off Amazon, and the prices are the same pretty much anywhere you go on that.
Use his link down in the description.
Yeah, use that. I think tomorrow is going to be the day we're going to ceramic coat, or maybe a couple days. Depends how bad we feel after all these hours from here. So if you guys haven't, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you come back because I don't know what we're doing, but I've watched the video, so that makes me an expert on how to apply this stuff. Well, we appreciate your time, and thanks for watching. Sweet.